Hello everyone, I'm Claire and I'm excited to be hosting a series of workshops with Strathmore all about drawing birds of the world using coloured pencils. Throughout this series we'll be drawing birds from a variety of habitats across the planet, from the polar regions to the tropics and from woodlands to waterways, discovering a range of feather types, colours and textures along the way. In this lesson we're heading to the icy landscapes of the South Pole, where we'll be learning how to draw this adorable little penguin. While penguins are known for their classic black and white feathers, we're going to be taking a little bit more of a creative approach, exploring how to use colour to bring depth, warmth and life to what otherwise would be a monochrome subject. For materials, I'll be using Lyra Rembrandt Polycolor coloured pencils and Strathmore heavyweight mixed media paper. I love this paper because it has a smooth surface that's great for fine details, but also has enough tooth to build up layers. I'll also be using an electric eraser with a fine tip and the Lyra Rembrandt Splender pencil for final burnishing and polishing of the pencil pigment. So the first step in this lesson is to sketch out the line drawing of our bird. I'm using a royalty-free reference photo which you can download from the attachments included with this video, along with the full colour pencil supply list. For your initial sketch you can draw it freehand, or if you like a faster method without the challenge of freehand drawing, simply print the supplied line drawing and transfer it onto your Strathmore paper using tracing or transfer paper. Lightly sketch out your outline using a light coloured pencil. I've used medium grey. And we're now ready to start adding coloured pencil to the drawing. And just like I mentioned in the previous lesson, I always start with the eye because it's the most important part of the bird, so we can easily start again if it goes wrong. So the eye of the penguin is fairly bold and quite small, so we're not going to be too concerned with any detail. It's more about blocking in the correct colours and the values. So I'm starting with a light pressure of brown for the light part of the eye, and then using a heavy pressure of white to fuse that brown into the paper. I'm then using quite a firm pressure of black to block in the main part of the eye. So next I'm looking at building up the feathers surrounding the eye, and I'm going to start by blocking in the lightest colours that I see. So I'm adding some light grey, some light blue and some light flesh to those lighter parts. I'm now shifting my focus to the shadows around the eye. I'm starting with a medium grey pencil and blocking in the shapes that I see using light pressure, and also starting to mark out the general feather direction. I'm adding a deep blue, this is the light cobalt, to add a little richness to the black, and then going in with a sharp black pencil to add a few more details. And then adding a few touches of grey and light blue to amplify the shadows in the lighter areas. Moving on to the beak, and we're going to be starting with the process of applying the light colours first. So I'm applying some light blues and some light pinks in those really light reflective areas that we see. So I'm using some sky blue and some pink madeleine just to plot out the light colours, and then applying a really light pressure of light cobalt just to amplify the blue a little. And this is where I shift my attention to the dark tones. I'm going in with the black pencil with a sharp point and marking out the most prominent shapes that I see. So this is the crease in the centre of the beak as well as the nostril areas, and there's really prominent shadows right on the edge of the beak. And then applying some lines in the general direction of the beak to add that scratchy sort of appearance and just bring out some of the general texture of the beak there. So now that I've got the main colours all plotted out, we can start to amplify those colours by going in with a little bit more pressure. So I'm using some red violet and some more sky blue, a little bit of grey, and also some lighter tones such as the light grey and a white pencil to smooth out the texture. And then I'm starting to amplify the blacks even further by going back in with some heavier pressure of the black, just applying a little bit more pressure and adding a little bit more texture. This all helps with the depth of the black. And then I'm going to finish off with my electric eraser to pull out any sharp highlights within the beak, just to give it a little bit more of a reflective look. And then finish off by amplifying some of the colours we've already used, and then giving it a final polish with the Rembrandt Splender pencil to smooth out the texture, so we've got that glossy sort of appearance to the beak. This is something that you can do now or leave until the end of the drawing. For the black head feathers, we're going to start by focusing on the light reflective areas first. So I'm applying some light grey and a little cream to add a little colour interest to the light area on the left, and then applying a light blue for the dark feathers right on the very top of the head. I'm also adding a light pressure of brown here as well. This is just going to add a little bit of warmth to those reflective parts. And then I'm finally going in with my black pencil to mark out the general feather direction. So I'm applying lots of lines using a sharp point and varying pressure here. But generally I'm just marking out the actual feather direction. So I'm going to be looking for curves and keeping my pencil strokes quite close together as well. For the most prominent shadow just above the eye, I'm applying my pencil strokes a little closer together and also applying a little bit more pressure as well. It's more of a block of colour there rather than actual defined lines, so I'm not too concerned about any detail there. And now it's time to add in some glazes of colour to amplify the warms and the cool tones, just bring in a little bit more colour interest. So I'm adding some light pressure brown as well as some creams for the warm part on the left, and then some blues for the cooler parts on the top of the head. I'm playing around with pressures a little bit as well, amplifying the pressure for those deeper shadows, not just to make the shadows darker but also to saturate the richness of the colours. And then repeating one of my earlier steps with a sharp point of my black pencil, just to add back a little detail. Repeat as necessary, adding some further colour to those black tones. Blues and purples are always good for cool toned areas in black, and browns and yellows are really good for warm tones of black. But feel free to experiment with different colours, as black can really come alive when we move away from just grey. Just like we did with the beak, I'm using my electric eraser to pull out a few of those highlights. And then if you wish, you can amplify those highlights even further by going over the erased marks with a white pencil. And then smooth out as necessary with further light colours or the Rembrandt Splender pencil. Moving on to the lower part of the face, and we're going to be using colour again to bring life to the white. I'm starting with a light layer of light grey, just so that we've got some coverage on the paper. I'm starting with a sharp black pencil here, and it's really important to keep a fine point as the feather details are very defined. What we're drawing here are the actual shadows behind individual strands of white feathers, so those shadows need to be quite sharp. They're also really structured and uniform, so as I map out the feather direction, I'm trying to be quite precise, almost military, in how I lay down each mark. I'm paying close attention to curvature and the length of those feathers, using small strokes for the short feathers and longer curved strokes around the cheekbone. This is where I'm starting to add some colour interest to the white, so I'm adding some light pressure glazes of blues, purples, pinks and a little cream in there. Feel free to experiment with whatever colours you like. There's no real structure to how or why I'm applying certain colours in areas. I'm focusing these colours on the shadows rather than applying grey. I'm utilising my electric eraser now to pull out some of those white strands of feathers, and then amplifying the shadows even further with a sharp black. And then it's a case of repeating the same process, amplifying those grey shadows with more colour, so adding a little bit more pressure of purples and blues, and then also going in with the electric eraser to pull out some of those highlights, but making sure to amplify those shadows with a sharp black pencil. So this is just a repetitive process and also a little bit of refining and tidying up. For the chest, I'm starting with the same process of applying a light base layer of light grey, and then applying light layers of sky blue and light violet for the subtle shadows. Mixing a little peach in there as well for a little added warmth. I'm following a similar process to how I did the facial feathers, using a light pressure but a sharp point of my black pencil to mark out the general feather direction. I'm also paying attention to the clumps of feathers towards the bottom of this chest area, where those clumps of feathers come to almost a downwards pointy triangular sort of shape, so I'm making sure to mark those out. And then for the darker shadow just underneath the chin area, I'm applying a few more strokes here and making sure that my pencil strokes are close together just to mark out that darker shadow. So just like we did for the facial areas, I'm glazing over with some brighter but light colours to bring some life to the shadows. So I'm adding some blues and going in with some richer blues for the darker shadow underneath the chin as well. Just using a little bit more pressure, also adding a little bit of purple as well and some yellow. Again, just experimenting with various different colours to add warmth or coolness to the shadows. And then I'm going in with my electric eraser over those white clumps, just to make them a little bit more refined. And because these white clumps of feathers have some really deep shadows behind them, I'm going in with my black pencil, a nice sharp point, to amplify those shadows and make them stand out. For the arms, I saw these as a bunch of shapes, no real defined patterns or sharp lines, just lights and darks. So I started by blocking in the lights with some light grey, and then went in with some black and some medium grey, with a mixture of pressures so that I can subtly blend the lights and the darks together. And here I'm adding a little bit of Van Dyke Brown to add some richness to the black, and also some light pastel colours to the white shades, just to bring it into harmony with the rest of the shadows of the penguin. For the lower part of the chest, I started by blocking in those subtle shadows that are cast by the arms of the penguin. I started by using a light pressure of light grey, then gradually introduced some blues and some purples to add a little bit of colour interest. Then I proceeded to mark out the general feather direction using my light grey pencil. I used a lightish to medium pressure, just looking for very subtle changes in the contour of the chest and applying a little bit more pressure in those clumps. I'm going over the entire chest area with a really light pressure just to make sure that all the white of the paper is covered. And then onto the subtle shadows cast in the chest area. I want to gently bring down the shadows from the upper chest area into the lower chest area, so I'm using a really light pressure. I'm using sky blue mainly for this section, as I want to convey an overall sense of icy coolness to the lower part of this belly. I'm introducing some light violet as well, which is another really nice colour to bring coolness to white. I'm adding a light pressure of silver grey. This is the first time I've used this colour. It's a grey tone, but it does have a nice cool blueness to it, so I'm amplifying the shadows with this colour. And then I'm adding further colour to the brighter parts of the belly, adding some light flesh for a little bit of warmth in the centre. Applying just a light pressure to gently mix this colour in with the other colours. And then going back in with the colour that I started the base layer with, which is light grey, just to help fill in some of the grooves of the paper and smooth out the overall texture of the pencil. These shadows under the arms are an area I really want to amplify and make stand out, so I keep going over with more colours to saturate the colour and make it a little richer. I also want to make sure that the shadows are deep enough around the arms and underneath the arms as well, so I'm going back in with my black to really amplify the richest shadows. just adding a little bit more colour with a really light pressure. It's also really helpful to hold the pencil towards the end of the barrel, as this naturally helps you to loosen your grip. And then with a sharp black pencil, just putting in a few of those sharp stray details. And then below this dark shadow on the chest, I'm using a really light pressure to extend those triangular shapes downwards. I'm on to the final stage of tidying up the whole drawing now, just adding some final touches of colour, deepening the shadows, refining a few details, and making sure the edges are nice and crisp. This is the stage where I give the entire piece a final once over to polish and pull everything together. And if you haven't already done so, you can also go over certain areas with the Rembrandt Splender pencil to help smooth out the texture of the pigment. Just make sure that you work from light to dark tones to avoid any unwanted smudging. And with that, we're wrapping up lesson 2 in this series. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and even more so, I hope you had fun creating your own penguin and playing around with all those beautiful colours. I'd love for you to join me again next week for lesson 3, where we'll be heading to a much warmer climate. We'll be arriving in the tropics of Costa Rica and South America, where we'll be learning how to draw a hummingbird. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Take care and farewell for now.